Now, the minority group that was persecuted the most was Jewish people. I've made a whole separate video here to exemplify this because there's so much evidence about the persecution of Jewish people. It is famous by this point. See, I'm going to try and cover some of the key content moments you need to know about before we talk about what's in the next video, which is the final solution. So we are never really sure of the reasons why Jewish people were targeted so heavily. There's a number of different theories, but the best one we can come up with is that it is just standard anti-Semitism. The meaning that Jewish people have been persecuted or treated badly for genuinely about 1,000 years. Jewish people have been seen as money grabbing and a source of negativity or a scapegoat to blame for communities across the world, particularly in Europe, the last 1,000 years. And the Nazis seem to have used the Jewish people as a scapegoat as well as the source of all of their issues and problems. And that led the Nazis, once coming to power and having that enabling law to create any law they like, to really go and just highlight Jewish people as a thing to remove. Straight away, there are 3 stages of 3 different ways, really, how the Nazis essentially used Jewish people. Firstly, they identified Jewish people. This might be through educating children about the stereotypical features of Jewish people, bald hair, big noses, wearing glasses. Genuinely, it's to this level. As well as that famous one is that they created laws that Jewish people had to wear a golden Star of David, shown in the picture in the centre. Identification allowed Jewish people to be known. This meant people could persecute them on sight. It meant they could be refused access to jobs. It meant people could refuse to serve them. It meant they could go and beat them up. Everyone knew you were Jewish. I remember there was a law where your name had to be changed to sound more Jewish if your name didn't sound Jewish. There are some insane things they did to encourage the identification of Jewish people. On top of that, there is then isolation. Once Jewish people are identified, they are separated out and away from everybody else, be this removing Jewish children from schools, firing Jewish people from work, preventing them from earning money like everybody else, banning Jewish businesses, kicking them out of the civil service, removing them from the army even. This is making making Jewish people forced to live separate from everybody else. They don't go to work with everybody else. They are not allowed to go to school with anyone else. They're not allowed to fraternize. Famously, a set of laws called the Nuremberg laws banned Jewish people from doing a variety of just normal stuff like sitting on a park bench, drinking from a water fountain. Those laws isolate Jewish people and it prevents normal Germans from seeing them. It prevents normal Germans from seeing a Jewish person they might like or a nice Jewish person, which means the propaganda that says Jewish people are bad is much more easy to believe. And after that, they persecute. They seriously attack and degrade Jewish people to a level that is extreme, be that physical beatings, be that stealing of money, and be that some serious events like Kristallnacht. See, Kristallnacht is an event that occurred, I can't remember the name, I think it's 1938. It is one day in November, I believe, where essentially it was a nationwide pogrom, a nationwide religious attack on Jewish people. See, we're not sure exactly on the ifs, ands or whys. A Jewish person killed a Nazi officer in Paris because of their treatment of Jewish people. And this moment was used as an opportunity for the Nazis, because finally one Jewish person had punched back and fought against the Nazis. And this shared responsibility could be placed amongst all Jewish people. Jewish shops could be destroyed because you attacked us. Jewish things could be stolen because you attacked us. There was a law introduced that says they had to hand over all gold and jewellery without compensation. Jewish people were forcibly made to be poor in Germany and forcibly kicked out of the communities they did live in. And they were forced into one place only, a ghetto. What a ghetto means is a poor or deprived area of a city that is only occupied by one group of people. And in this case, in places like Poland and Germany, ghettos where Jewish people were forced to live. In fact, in the Warsaw Ghetto, one of the biggest ghettos on earth, it was walled off. You could not enter or leave the ghetto. And people were, again, treated poorly here. There was no electricity, no running water, 300 calories a day in food. They were treated like animals, penned away and kept away from the original population. In fact, there was a whole section of the German, should we say the German military, that was purely dedicated to hunting Jewish people. It's called the Einssatzgruppen, and the Einsatzgruppen, pardon. What their job was to hunt Jewish people that were trying to evade laws, make sure Jewish people were either being kicked out or forced to leave. They would control and patrol ghettos. These groups would actively kill Jewish people if they were breaking Nazi law. This persecution has an end point, but it's so exemplary. You need to know some really key information about Jewish persecution to move on to understand the later sections of it. So firstly, if you can name the stages of Jewish persecution, you should be able to remember some laws. I want you to make sure you know the stages and you know a law that matches up with each stage. On top of that, you need to know what ghettos are and how they affect Jewish people's lives, as well as knowing what Einsatzgruppen are as well. If you can answer those questions, you'll have revised this section. But anyways, too long this video anyways. Good luck and I'll see you later.